Well, hey there, everyone. It's time for a no-kill playthrough of the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve. In order to get me on good terms with the advertising and monetization terms of YouTube, I'm going to conform to the guidelines of their new priorities as well as I can, and avoid killing anything that I can. And do this in the least violent and least vulgar way that I possibly can. So we'll see how this ends up. Of course, in doing this, I am in no way jumping on the bandwagon for any sort of satire, and this is all entirely serious. So hopefully I can please those fine men and women of YouTube and get on good terms with them so I can start making mad YouTube shekels off of the 10 people that watch my videos. To start off with, of course, we're just going to be running past those stalkers who are being quite rude to us and trying to attack us on the way by, and talk to our old pal Mordecai up here, who is shooting them with what appears to be a glitter cannon, as they all glow purple upon being hit. I'll just let him talk here, and get back to you after the dialogue. I promise, it's all guideline friendly.
Glad you're here. I've been scouting the place for the last half hour. It looks like at least a two-man job. If you can get inside through the shipyard, I can give you support and lead you to Bloodwing. You get my bird, I'll get your claptrap upgrade.
Moving on, you may notice some subtle cuts because I'm trying to keep everything as low on the vulgar scale as I possibly can. Anyways, continuing on past that, there's more stalkers here that will try and make some moves at us, but we're just going to continue past them. And we'll get to our first loader populated area in a moment, which may be difficult to handle, but it's okay. We'll get through it, I'm sure.
I know my girl can handle herself.
Now, as you can see, this door here is locked, and it seems that there's no way past it. But, luckily, I've played this game a bunch, and I know my way around it. Things may be looking grim, but you'll see the kind men of Hyperion have just happened to open the door for us. So we can just walk right on through, past these loaders. Thankfully, we're playing as the best character ever, Zero the Magician, and he has this handy combat avoiding ability where he can turn invisible and run right past all instances of violence. Clearly, this is the most advantageous ability for such a playthrough, which is why I've chosen such a character.
Welcome to the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve. Jack says he built this place to promote science and discovery and whatever, but it's BS. They're just using slag to experiment on eggs.
Some may be concerned by this large red stain on the floor here, but I assure you, some of those animals just get a little wild with their ketchup rations, so no worries. Speaking of animals, this entire area is massively populated by dangerous creatures. But, as I mentioned, Zero is an expert of combat avoidance, so thankfully it proves no problem for him. As you can see, these creatures are quite vivacious in their efforts to take you down, but, like I said, they don't prove too much of a problem. You can simply run past them without much effort. Oddly enough, this area is supposed to be populated by a few more loaders and Hyperion personnel, but it appears that they have detected my non-threatening stature and have not sent out more reinforcements after me. How nice. However, moving past these stalkers, the moonshot cannon now begins firing, and you'll see that there is intense reinforcements, and with vast amounts of loaders raining down very unfriendly, very violent gunfire towards me. Now, that door there is closed, but if you just hide behind this box for a little while, some fine chaps will come to escort you into the complex. See, now, moving on, we open up this door and head to Bloodwing's Preserve. But, lo and behold, she's not here. In fact, she seems to have had an incident with her ketchup as well. So, discovering the situation, we shall move on to the newly discovered source of Bloodwing to meet her there instead.
Seeing some commotion in the observation room. Maybe they moved it in. Just keep pushing through the preserve, amigo.
Now, after allowing Jack to speak there, we will find ourselves in an area populated by other vicious creatures of Pandora, along with a closed door. Thankfully, another set of Hyperion personnel are kind enough to open it up. However, they're armed with lots of firepower, so we'll just use Zero's magic trick again to escape past their line of fire with little threat of harm to us. Moving on invisibly into the complex further on, there is more loaders of various types who wish to do harm to us, and we will advance past them with little to no threat, and move up the stairs, progressing only further towards Bloodwing. Now we're approaching the final stretch here, moving past this last group of loaders and Hyperion personnel, and descending this elevator, we will finally be met with the bird in question. So I'll just let this cutscene play out.
One Bloodwing back, huh? Shame. I've been doing some really interesting breeding experiments with her. Hate to see her go. But heck with it. Oh my god. Just give it up, kiddo. Bloodwing's got all the elements at her disposal. Fire, electricity, corrosion, slag, and... I forgot the last one. What's that again? Just weaken her and I'll hit her with a drink! I'm sorry, soldier, but you gotta beat Bloodwing down. Do what you can to save her, but if you can't, she's got what we need to get into Control Core Angel and grab the vault key. That's what matters here. Fire!
Well, upon arriving at Bloodwing, you can see that this is something of a boss battle. Sadly, the conflict and violence of this cannot be avoided under the pretenses of a pacifist run, so I'm afraid the video will have to end here. You can see my gear involved nothing violent, only that of defensive terms. This is my build, though it doesn't matter because I did not attack anything, and thus my attack bonuses did not come into play. Once again, you can see the only gear slots occupied are my relic, which reduces the cooldown rate of my invisibility, and a shield. Looking at the map, you can see indeed, this is the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve, and I hope you've enjoyed my run through of it with no violence whatsoever, and I hope the advertisers have it as well, and maybe soon I can get monetization on my videos. Just kidding, that will probably never happen, but regardless, to those who have seen this, I hope you enjoyed this little bout of satire. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.